If you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, because what you're about to hear is a story that will stay with you long after it ends. It started on a scorching afternoon in downtown Dubai. The streets shimmered under the golden heat, and people rushed by, eyes glued to their phones, hearts locked behind ambition. Among the crowd stood a young woman, Layla, her dark hair tucked beneath a faded scarf, her hands trembling as she held out a small basket of red roses. Each petal glowed like a secret, each stem wrapped with a ribbon that once carried her mother's perfume. Layla wasn't selling flowers, she was selling survival. "Roses, sir." "Roses, ma'am," she whispered to passers-by who didn't even glance her way. Her Arabic accent was soft, like a melody ignored by the world. Then, a black Rolls-Royce stopped right in front of her. The door opened, and out stepped a tall man in a perfectly cut suit, Youssef Al-Karim, a self-made millionaire known for his arrogance as much as his wealth. Cameras often caught him tossing money in charity events, smiling for headlines. To the world, he was generous. To those who met him, he was cold. He looked down at Layla, then at her roses, and smirked. "How much for all of them?" Layla froze. "Sir, 100 dirhams for the basket." Youssef chuckled. 100? "I'll give you 100,000, if you can sell me these roses in Arabic." People stopped. Phones came out. Laughter rippled. A poor flower seller, being tested by a millionaire. Layla's lips parted, but no sound came out. She hadn't spoken proper Arabic since she was a child. Her father, once an Arabic teacher, had died years ago, leaving her with only memories of his soft voice teaching her verses. The crowd watched, waiting for her to embarrass herself. But then, she whispered, "Bikamanta Turid al-Jamal? Fi Kulli Zara Kalb." Youssef's smile faded. Her Arabic, though trembling, was poetic. She had said, "How much are you willing to pay for beauty? In every rose, there's a heart." The laughter around them died. Something shifted in the air. Youssef's expression went blank, his breath caught, like he'd been struck by a ghost. He turned to his driver. "Pay her." "Sir, you can't be serious." "Pay her," Youssef repeated, voice colder now. The driver handed Layla a check, $100,000. The cameras kept rolling. The internet would soon call it the most arrogant offer ever made. But no one knew what Youssef saw in that moment, or why his hand shook as he gave her the check. That night, Layla went home to a tiny apartment she shared with her little brother, Samir, who was blind since birth. She placed the roses beside him, whispering softly, "We don't have to sell anymore, Habibi. We're free. But freedom has a price." The next morning, a man in a black suit knocked on her door. "Mr. Al-Karim requests your presence." Immediately. Layla hesitated but went. She found herself in Youssef's glass office, overlooking the city skyline. He was staring at a faded photograph, a young woman holding a single rose, smiling at the camera. "Do you know why I froze when you spoke Arabic?" he asked quietly. "You sound like her. My mother. She sold roses, too." Layla blinked, speechless. "She taught me the same words you said, word for word." He turned toward her, his eyes softer now, stripped of arrogance. "I thought I'd buried that memory with her. But when you spoke, it was like she was standing there again." Tears welled in Layla's eyes. "Maybe it was her way of reminding you who you are." Youssef laughed bitterly. "Who I am? I've spent years building walls of gold around my pain. And you, a girl with roses, broke them in one sentence." He leaned back, staring at her hands, small, calloused, trembling. "Tell me, what do you want most in this world?" She hesitated. "A school, for people like my brother. For children who can't see beauty, but can feel it." For a moment, silence filled the air, the kind of silence that changes lives. Weeks later, a new building rose on the outskirts of the city, the House of Roses, a foundation for blind and underprivileged children. At the entrance stood a bronze statue, a woman holding a basket of roses, her head bowed, her lips curved in a faint smile. Every morning, Layla taught the children how to smell colors, how to feel language, how to dream without sight. And every week, a man in a dark suit would visit quietly, standing at the gate with fresh roses in hand, Yusef. He never said much, but once, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, he whispered, "You sold me more than roses that day. You sold me back my soul." Layla smiled, her eyes glistening. "Some things, Mr. Al-Karim, aren't for sale." The camera would fade there, the screen warm with golden light, and the words would linger long after the video ended. In a world chasing prices, remember, value speaks another language. So, if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, because somewhere out there, another Layla is still standing in the heat, waiting for someone to listen.